Hello, my name is Pete Martin. This is video number 5 in the Mandolin Basics series, and this is on the use of the pinky, how to use it effectively, and how to train it so that it can be used fluidly. First thing, in using the pinky, even though the pinky is a shorter finger than the others, we still need to make sure that when we use it, we keep it bent at both the knuckles. So in other words, when you finger with the pinky finger on the mandolin, you can see that I am keeping both of the knuckles on the pinky bent. You've got to make sure not to straighten out one of the knuckles or the other. This is really hard for me to do, sorry. But I quite often will see people play flattening out one or both of the knuckles of the pinky. We're going to look at the hand position that will allow you to play on the tip of the pinky, and toward the end of this video we'll also look at some left hand exercises that involve a lot of use of the pinky, that if you do them the right way and are patient with them, you will eventually train the pinky to work fluidly and work in the right way. Another thing is you always want to play on the pad of the tip of the pinky. Not. So you want to play right here. Not the side. And not so far on the tip that you're hitting the pinky fingernail. You want to play on the pad of the pinky. See if I can get it in a place where you can see it very clearly. Right there. So you basically want to use the pinky exactly like you use any of the other fingers. Stay on the tips. Okay. Before we look at the hand position for the pinky, let's just look at let's look at some things about how the hand is built. I want you to right now hold up your hand like this and place as big a space as you can between your pinky and your ring finger. Okay? Note how far it is. Note how far it is from the pinky to the ring finger. Now bring it back together. Now as big a space as you can between the ring finger and the middle finger. The old Spock live long and prosper salute. Bring them back together. And now as big a space as you can between the index and middle finger, like this. After doing some observation of this, do it a few times, do all these a few times, and notice where the biggest gap is between two fingers. Most people are going to agree the biggest gap is between the index and the middle finger, like this. Some people can put a pretty big gap between their pinky and ring finger, but most people can put a much bigger gap between the index and the middle finger. All right, why is this useful? Well, let me show you. This is especially useful when we look at how the bluegrass chop chord is done, especially the G chord and the A chord. I've had a number of students over the years tell me that they can't stretch their pinky to get the chop chords. The G chop chord, the A chop chord, the D and E four-finger chop chord. Let's look at the A chop chord. Just like this. Okay? I am keeping all my fingers bent and coming down on the ends. What most people do that I think gets them into trouble, and I'll demonstrate this with the G chop chord. They put their hand where their index finger is very comfortable, their middle finger is comfortable, their ring finger, and now in order to get to the pinky, I've had to straighten my pinky out and not keep any curve in it like I want to. Alright, so if I curve my pinky, I really want the pinky to be all the way up to the 7th fret, but it falls really right on top of the 6th fret, and I get a sound that I don't want. Even if I do get a sound on the pinky, it's the 6th fret, not the 7th fret that I want. Remember this little exercise that we did where we found the biggest spaces in between our index finger and ring finger? Here is the way to put the hand up to the neck that can make efficient use of the pinky. We put our hand up to the neck where we can keep the pinky bent. Can you see that? Now we keep that hand position right here and we simply pull back this way. Do you notice this gap right here between the index and middle fingers? So I pull my index and middle fingers backward that way using this motion. So take your hand, hold it up, pull your index finger back toward your thumb, and pull your middle finger back to your thumb. That's all you're doing, except you just have the fingers bent. If you do this, then place the pinky where you can keep the pinky bent. You'll be able to get to this 4-finger chop chord, keeping all of the fingers softly bent. And notice now there's bend in my pinky, whereas a minute ago, when I had my hand in the other position, where my index finger was comfortable but my pinky wasn't, I had to straighten the pinky out. So by moving my whole hand maybe a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch toward the body of the instrument, in other words, from here to here, it's about the distance for me of about 1/2 fret. Some people will have to move a full fret. That's not even a 1/2 inch, I don't think. All of a sudden now, I can keep all the fingers in a place if I stretch these back, stretch the index and stretch the middle back, to keep all the fingers bent. Lets the full chop come out clear.